A malfunction occurred at one of the quays in Chongjin during the launching of a new ship, which caused immediate commotion among local and central authorities. At the scene, witnesses reported a sudden lift of the hull that caused the bow to partially submerge and damage to the hull plating. The head of state personally observed the ceremony and immediately commented on the incident as a serious breach of discipline and of the quality of shipyard workmanship. State media agencies reported the event in detail, describing the detachment of the launching cradles and irregularities in the launching process, and audits and additional inspections were planned. Preliminary findings led to arrests, according to which responsibility for the error was assigned to the shipyard management and several key engineers. The detained employees included those responsible for hull construction, technical supervision, and the shipyard's administration, underlining the scale of the reckoning. The statements emphasized that the incident had a criminal character resulting from alleged negligence and a lack of professionalism during the preparation for the launch. Satellite imagery and reports from foreign informants confirmed that the vessel was on its side, and repairs began immediately after the most urgent hazards were removed, and audits and additional inspections were planned. In the shipyard, camp controls and reviews of technical documentation took place, as well as an inventory of equipment used in ship launching operations. Authorities set a deadline for returning the unit to trial operations and announced accelerated repair work to avoid further prestige losses. Public reaction within the country was mixed, including both surprise and interpretations calling for the restoration of order and discipline. From a military standpoint, the incident weakened plans to showcase new naval capabilities that were to be demonstrated at upcoming state ceremonies. Experts point out that the cause could have been calculation errors regarding the loading of the transport cradles and their improper positioning relative to the quay. Shortages of advanced equipment and a lack of modern shipyard technologies were cited as a long-term problem affecting the safety of launches. As a result of the investigation, ad hoc training for operators was carried out and oversight of safety procedures for subsequent shipyard operations was intensified. The region felt an increased presence of law enforcement services that conducted interrogations and secured sites related to inspections and technical documentation. The media instrumentalization of the event also served to signal zero tolerance for errors in the defense sector and to build a narrative of accountability. It is not common for such large incidents to be disclosed by state media, which is why some analyses pointed to a desire to show exemplary accountability. The families of the detained experienced pressure and uncertainty, and local sources reported immediate restrictions on contact with the detained workers. Rescue work focused on stabilizing the hull, removing water from the interior, and securing installations to prevent contamination and further damage. As a result, local facilities overloaded their processing capacities, postponing schedules for other orders and refurbishment investments. Identifying those responsible was part of a broader signal to the industrial sector about the need to improve quality and timeliness in the execution of strategic projects. The economic consequences included increased repair costs and potential delays in deliveries of equipment and components for the armed forces. In international analyses, the authorities' behavior was assessed as an element of domestic policy aimed at strengthening control over key production sectors. Foreign analysts also monitored the event's impact on worker morale and the shipyard's long-term capacity to carry out complex shipbuilding projects. The disclosure of the course of the launch and technical details increased interest among foreign observers monitoring the development of naval capabilities. The main emphasis in the statements was placed on repairing the damage before the upcoming party meeting, which had both symbolic and practical significance. Some reports suggested that the process of restoring the unit's seaworthiness could lead to a reorganization of teams and production procedures at the shipyard. The interrogations and detentions also had a deterrent effect on other managers, demonstrating real consequences for mistakes in state projects. The incident's history fit into the broader context of fleet modernization, where every public mishap exposed modernization efforts to criticism and delays. Quality controls and internal audits were introduced to draw attention to design processes, logistics, and the performance of lifting equipment. Formal state statements emphasized the rebuilding of technical reputation and the rapid restoration of combat capability not previously accounted for in plans. The authorities' approach to the guilty combined elements of the judicial dimension with a practice of political reckoning for operational mistakes. Open reporting and repair demonstrations could also serve to demonstrate the capacity for rapid crisis response in the defense sector. This case also became material for reflection on the need to modernize port infrastructure and update operational procedures. From a social perspective, the incident drew attention to working conditions in the facilities and the pressure resulting from the implementation of ambitious military plans.